Yo guys, you read the title, you know what I'm doing. But before we get into the run itself, I'd like to go over some things. Firstly, this is my first time doing a challenge run. As people who have watched my channel know, I do have a fondness for Fae, so I thought that there was no better persona to use for this challenge than the Pixie. If you'd like me to do more challenge runs for games I've played, just let me know and I'll give them a shot. Though in the future, I am probably going to do some Souls and SMT challenges, so if you have any suggestions, just let me know. Obviously, you don't start with her, so the moment I get her from Shovel Time, I will not be able to unequip her. And as is normal for these types of challenges, no New Game Plus, and I have to be on the hardest difficulty, which is Merciless. Now, I'm adding another rule, which most people haven't done for this challenge, no Velvet Room. So I can't fuse any personas, so the only ones I'll be able to get are from Shuffle Time. We start a new game, select Merciless as the difficulty, and we don't watch the opening. I got copywritten last time. We start heading toward dorm, unbothered by all the blood and stuff around us, because when you're with a fae, for as long as we're gonna be, you have to expect a certain level of oddity. We go inside, meet a strange child in, and I quote, propaganda clothing, who has us sign a contract with not even a paragraph on it. I name myself Aquamana, and some girl I've never met has a gun. But before she can show off her American spirit, she is interrupted by I'm Mitsuru. We're given the first dialogue choice of the game, and this is a very important question.
Huh? Well, it's sorta like a hobby?
I thought this was fucking Japan. Skipping to the next day, we are forced to go with Yukari to school and find out which class we're in. We meet Junpei, the best boy, aside from Saizo, watch Soul Hackers 2. Most of these early days are just spent going around, seeing the areas that you'll get to explore later. On the 8th, we get our first classroom event. So answering questions gives you charm, and sometimes you can choose to stay awake or go to sleep in class, giving you knowledge and courage respectively. There's never a downside to doing these, so answer every question you can right. Later, we meet the chairman and find out we are not, in fact, safe from the weirdos with guns in this dorm. While we're sleeping, we are in a place between dream and reality discussing our recently signed contract with Igor and his assistant Elizabeth. The next night, we're woken by some rumbling and Yukari hands us a short sword. Lord only knows where the fuck she was keeping it. Anyway, there's something big trying to get into the dorm, so Yukari takes us to the roof to try and get away from it. But,
No way! That's it! One of the monsters that attacked us! It's a shadow!
It's here.
Wait.
Go on.
So. I am thou. Thou art I. From the sea of thy soul I come. I am Orpheus, master of strings.
Just as we thought.
With our weak, pathetic, not Fae persona awakened, we can finally fight some shadows. After an exhilarating peek at some freedom, we pass out from the exhaustion and meet the man we'll never see again. After a week of being hospitalized, we are met with Yukari. Yay. And immediately she starts venting about how bad she feels about watching us sleep. Next day, we're introduced to the first new mechanic of reload, Twilight Fragments. These are extremely useful, so I'll be collecting all the ones I can in the overworld and doing social links mostly just so I can get the Twilight Fragments. After school, we're taken to the chairman and asked to join C's. Of course, we accept because we need to get our hands on our true persona. This also starts our first social link. Next day, we find out Junpei has the potential and he's joining the team. And now we finally have enough members to start exploring Tartarus. Once inside, we are elected leader and enter the Velvet Room once again against our will. Once inside the actual labyrinth, we are introduced to the most wonderful dungeon in Persona. Unfortunately, we can only do the first floor, so no Pixie yet. After going to the police to purchase some weapons, we immediately head back to Tartarus. With our first shovel time, we're given our Pixie, immediately equip her, and now the challenge can finally begin. We're going to be getting most, if not all of our upgrades from shovel time because it's practically the only way to get skill cards. Now that we have our persona, we have a problem. You see, Pixie has one weakness and one resistance. Pretty good. However, this weakness is ice. This is worrying because the very first boss of the game is called the Ruthless Ice Raven. I forgot this, and I died immediately. After going back to the title screen, I do some more preparing. I do the fight again. This time, I get a lot more lucky, and two of my teammates make sure that the character doesn't die, because if I die, it's game over.
Alright, you won. Great work out there.
Though we do win, I am very low on SP and HP, so I have to leave Tartarus and come back later, which is something that I don't plan to do a lot during this game. Once outside of Tartarus, we start working on ourselves a bit, raising our social stats, and also starting the Magician, Chariot, and Strength social links, just to get some more Twilight Fragments. Going back to Tartarus, we grind out tier 2 skill cards so we can get more magic skills. I'm also going to try and show you my stats and skills that I have equipped on the fairy before each full moon boss, but I may forget in the early parts of this challenge just because I didn't think of it at the time. The next Tartarus boss is weak to Garu and his two minions are weak to Aggie, so we have his weaknesses covered on the main character and also Yukari and Junpei. This one goes down pretty easily.
Press the attack! You won! Now let's move on.
Though the next one is a lot tankier. Usually, this one causes a bit of trouble, but since Pixie's main skill is Zio, we just spam the shit out of it and win.
Pixie!
You won! Now let's move
Well,
on.
that was the boss.
Yeah.
Now, those of you who have played the game know what the next fight is going to be. And I am scared. So, I decided to start pumping my Pixie with the hardest enhancing drugs anyone can take. We go into the depths of Polonia Mall, and we play Balatro and Mario Kart until our Pixie is roided out of her mind. The night of the full moon, we find out that the monorail has been taken over by a shadow, and the squad goes out to deal with it. We see some shadows, and Junpei for some reason thinks he's him, and ignores my commands. So, Because of this insubordination, I'm gonna kick him off. He can't be trusted. We get to the head of the train and meet our first real boss, the Reverse Priestess. I was dreading this fight because she uses Bufala and a unique multi-targeting ice attack. This, as you could imagine, very bad for someone who has the nice weakness. Thankfully, I have Secunda and juiced the shit out of my agility, so I don't get hit often, and when I do, I can just use Yukari's skills or some healing items and recover quickly. Because of the weird card game, my magic stat is pretty high, so I'm able to do a lot of damage to the boss. It starts going down a lot faster than I thought it would, so this right here got me way too overconfident for the battles to come, and it's going to fuck me in the ass. Despite me being prepared and expecting all of this stuff, there are a few close calls, but I do end up living and doing it on my first attempt.
Damn it! Hero never gives up.
Brilliant. We're back in the fight.
Pixie!
Alright, I actually first tried it. That wasn't so bad. We get out of the fight with a minute left, completely ecstatic that the roadblock is behind us. With the Priestess defeated, we unlock quests from Elizabeth. Doing certain challenges will get us skill cards along with outfits, but we probably won't use any of those. We're also introduced to link episodes. They have unique stories, they're basically social links, but instead of ranking up and increasing persona levels through fusion, they increase your party members' stats. So I'll do some of them, but I may not complete all of them. Because finals are approaching, we can't hang out with anyone at school, so we start the Hierophant social link. And for the first term of finals, you're going to want to have rank 3 intelligence to get a reward from Mommy Mitsuru. Of course, I decide to cheat and use the internet because I don't want to risk my grade on my mediocre intelligence. Directly after the exams, I think it's a good idea to go back to Tartarus. Akiko joins the party, finally filling out the team. We also get a new Arcana card. These are important, but we don't get anything really useful or crazy until the next full moon. Next Guardian was a cakewalk because of our diverse mystical profile and a good 100 hours on inscription. We tear through the boss, defeating it in little over a minute. The next box doesn't do much better, having a weakness to Zio and the 2 tables being weak to Bufu. However, it doesn't stop here. Immediately after last boss, we're thrown into another. This is where my neglect of the physical stat starts to show itself. The dice itself doesn't have a weakness to magic, but it uses Revolution, a skill that raises everything's crit rate for 3 turns. Thankfully, it doesn't have much health, and it goes down without much issue. This is where our fun ends. The next boss has no weakness. I have nothing in terms of physical, and the boss is actively seeking out my party's weakness. Yukari is getting Zyanga to hell and back, constantly dying and being revived because she's our only healer. Thank God Akiko snorts protein like because without it, we wouldn't get nearly as many crits as we did.
Let's go! Snap! Let's have it, fellas!
Going back to our thriving social life, we find out that we scored the highest on the exams. Truly, the wonders of 2010 technology. No one even knew we were cheating. With this small victory nicely adding to our charm, we talk to Mitsuru to get a reward. It's nothing too good, but it's free stats, so can't really complain. We're called to the roof by the chairman, finding out he blew out his back organizing a little garden, which we are now socially obligated to take care of. Why? Well, because we seem to be the only ones in this dorm who has any type of life experience at all. I won't be going over the story too much. If you're interested, I'll have my first playthrough at the end card, so check it out if you want the actual story. So after we get a ghost story from Junpei, we find out Yukari, despite fighting the paranormal every day, is scared of ghosts. But apparently, not scared of gang-affiliated crime, because she drags us and Junpei into a back alley just for this dumbass bitch to insult these guys openly, for literally no reason at all. And then Best Boy gets fucking gut checked while Yukari was the one talking all this shit. And then we find out from the best guy that a girl from school has been missing for a week. And no one reported her missing. Then we find out why. That is because this girl has the worst parents who agreed to keep their daughter's disappearance on the down low just so it wouldn't be a big deal. And don't even get me started on this bitch. She locked Fuka inside the gym at night And the only reason anyone went back to look for her was because they were scared she would unalive herself. One terrorist joke later, and we're inside the school. We mess with Yukari a bit, and go in to save Best Girl. We wake up on an unknown floor of Tartarus, and the boy in somewhat striped pajamas tells us to secure the bag.
Persona.
With Fuga awakened as our navigator, we can identify the enemy's weaknesses. This is probably one of the easiest full moon bosses because they're the only ones with weaknesses. Because of my endless hours in, God, I'm running out of games. Slay the Spire. Within a few turns, the Emperor goes down, and the Empress isn't too far behind. However, this does show that I need more physical options, especially with the next boss in the game. We've got a few days to kill before Fuka joins the team, so we go through our social links and actually max out the Magician. Once we get Fuka on the team, I will now be focusing on raising my courage, but before we can start talking to women, we have to deal with the propaganda child stuck in our head. We're called in again and given some actual gear, instead of a fucking armband and some prayers. We're also introduced to Theurgy, which are powerful attacks that are going to become broken, and I will be abusing them. And then, for some reason, we're given a tour of the dorms, and this is basically just used to introduce all the spots you can hang out with party members. They're basically just passive abilities that don't take up any skill slots, and you'll see later, some of them are really busted. Now that we have Fuka, Mitsuru joins the front lines, and Junpei is, as I promised, never going to be used again. We also gain the Empress and Emperor Arcana cards. These two usually aren't that good in normal playthrough, but in a one persona only, these are basically more useful than any arcade game. So in the future, I might just come here to Tartarus and grind out the Arcana cards instead of doing an arcade game. None of the bosses here are really all that much of a problem. Like, the first boss goes down very quickly after I do an all-out attack and finish it off with Akika's Theurgy. The next boss is, oh my god. Did I interrupt something? The two big guys are weak to Garu, and that's the only weakness I'm going to be able to exploit here. But the fight isn't too long, so I'm not too worried about it. However, the lady is immune to all magic and has no weakness. For me, that's a problem because, again, my Pixie has no physical options. And this is also where I find I have a hatred for certain status ailments. Charm can go fuck itself, and I'm not going to get into my reason for this. The only reason this fight goes fine is because Mr. Boiled Chicken gets more crits than a lobotomist. The next boss is a cavalry with no weakness, but with Mitsu's Theurgy and some lucky freezes, we make quick work of him.
What to do? Persona.
That about does it. No shadows detected.
Not too long after I leave Tartarus, we get a call from Elizabeth, telling us that some people have wandered into the labyrinth. I forgot that this happened this early, so I have to go back before the next full moon. We also realize our Pixie's arms are looking a little wimpy, so we decide to add SF6 to our arcade game collection. And we start pumping strength until it's comparable to the rest of our stats. We max out the Chariot and get our first instance of Revolver Jesus. In the evening, we finish all of our hangout events with Yukari, and that gives us a passive skill, which reduces all of her healing's SP cost by half. We also finish the Strength social link, and finish our tea time with Mitsuru. The night of the full moon is upon us, and I forgot to get a physical skill, so I just used the only skill card I had. We pick out a team, and head to the Exotic Hotel. The first boss of the night is the Reverse Hierophant, whose only real danger is the Fear status element, but Arrow Rain does its work, doing around 200 damage if all 4 hits land, and it goes down pretty easily. And this sort of gives me the idea that this night is going to be pretty easy, but I am sorely mistaken. We get locked inside and look into a mirror, and immediately cut to a cutscene. Ew. We wake up on a bed and hear a voice in our head telling us to do it. and it isn't Pharaoh's this time. But Yukari isn't shit compared to Fuka, so we start thinking with our higher head and refuse. Remember, boys and girls, consent is key. Don't let abominations against nature try and get in your pants. I won't clarify if I'm talking about Yukari or the Reverse Lovers, so make peace with whatever decision you come to. Speaking of the Reverse Lovers, God, okay, where do I start? First of all, you won't see the whole fight. This shit took fucking 30 minutes almost, and the average I've seen in like every other challenge run is like 10 to 15 minutes. So I struggled. So I would go on saying that this is the game's fault, but I'm just stupid and I didn't look at its stats beforehand. The only physical that it has any sort of resistance against is Pierce, which is my only physical skill. Even still, I think the amount of times that I got charmed is kind of ridiculous. I have all of my party members with some sort of charm resistance, and consistently, every single attack that could inflict charm, I got charmed. The Aggiedyne, that's my fault. I shouldn't have brought Mitsuru. I'll accept that. But that thing's holy arrows. Oh my fucking god. So I don't know if the boss just has a better version of the skill, or it's like stats are just crazy for physical critical hits. But like, if it's not a guaranteed hit, then I just got unlucky as shit, because it critical hit me every single time it used it. Every single time. Again, I should have prepared more, but I'm salty and this is my video. Oh yeah, I know, Junpei's like being a little bitch. I like the guy, but holy shit, he is nothing compared to Saizo. After an absolutely devastating night inside of that hotel, we have another team building exercise. Yukari thinks she's a victim, but no one else on the team gives a flying fuck about what happened 10 years ago. Then we get the hardest redirect because our main man Junpei doesn't want to keep his inside thoughts to himself. Then Akutsuki comes to our school and tells us a child could join the team. The same man gives us some materials later that evening so we can check out the antique shop. And God, I wish this was Persona 5, because having a social link with the shopkeepers in this game would be insane. But the antique shop is going to be a great place for gear, stat cards, and a few exclusive skill cards. But because of our lack of Velvet Room, we can't get the truly broken stuff. Our vacation starts and
Wow, Fuka, do you wear swimsuits often, or?
Jesus fuck, I am uncomfortable. Yukari's going through some stuff, and I'm forced to accept some things about myself. Like, her dad's been dead for 10 years. Move on! Then this strange girl in a blue gown tries to take our interest from Fuka, and oh my god, Ikis is not making this easy.
My highest priority is to be at your side.
The next block of Tartarus was something. I don't know if I got cocky or if my gear was bad or what, but some of these bosses kicked my shit in. We hardly got past the first boss, and the next one goes about the same, with only Aigis and myself surviving. Before the next boss, we're introduced to Monad doors, which when beaten are guaranteed an Arcana card and some goodies. So I'm gonna be going into these every time I see one. The next boss thrashes my shit. I lost and reset the fight twice. The tome goes down in a few turns, but not before debuffing us. While the Minotaur is powering up, I do as much damage as I can, buff and debuff, all in an attempt to survive the single attack. Once I do that, he falls and I move on to the two partners, and they die without anything crazy happening. But holy hell, the big cowardly Maya runs me for all I'm worth. No weaknesses, no resistances, but I can't crit for shit. This boss drags on for a bit, I die twice to its concentrated magic, but I get through to the end. We are blessed with a new Arcana card, and an item which lets us pick up more Arcanas in every expedition. So it was worth the trouble. We don't get free time during the days until August 2nd, so I start the Hermit, and one evening we encounter the goodest boy. On the night of the full moon, we get locked into the place we wanted to be by Revolver Jesus and his crew, and we make our way down to the boss, picking up a few Twilight fragments along the way. I was very worried about this boss considering I got my shit tossed like a salad in Tartarus, but this one wasn't nearly as bad as I was expecting. The combined form has some devastating pierce attacks and gets a lucky crit on Mitsuru, killing her, but I revive her and it isn't much of an issue for the rest of the time. The combined tank has resistance to everything, and I don't know if it's the only way, but Theurgies are guaranteed to separate the two reverse bosses. The reverse Chariot is resistant to all physical attacks and has some heavy strike damage. It's also a lot more tanky than the Justice. Speaking of which, this little shit is so irritating. Thankfully, I get lucky and prepared a bit before the fight. I have Light of Vision on Yukari, and I equipped an accessory that gives Endure on my main character. Had I not done this, the main character would have died to insta-death. Thankfully, it doesn't hit another one on my character for the rest of the fight. If you kill one of the bosses before the other, they'll be revived, so you have to kill them both at the same time, just like the other two games. This wasn't a problem for me in Portable or on my original playthrough, but here I actually killed the Justice a lot quicker than I ever have before. But it wasn't too worrying considering how easily I just killed it. Like, I did a surprising amount of damage to the Justice. All in all, the fight was challenging, but I came in prepared and knew what to expect, beating it on my first try. Something that I should have probably done for all of the fights that I've done. Getting back to things, we start the social link with Stogie and get our last teammate for the run. In Tartarus, we go through 3 bosses. None of them really give me any trouble or even a close call. Only a few teammates ever go down during this block, and I rarely even bother finding a weakness, just critting them with my physical. We talk with Takaya, and unfortunately Koromaru does not bite his nuts off for us. Honestly, a bit disappointed in him. He could have performed very admirably here. We max out the Hierophant, not that it matters, and Ken becomes the next member of Seas. Junpei tries to win me over by growing as a person and trying to woo someone. Speaking of, we start the Fortune social link so we can start the Priestess with Fuka. Aigis joins the classroom and we convince Shinjiro to join the team. The night of the full moon, Junpei gets jumped by his girl, getting tied up and tossed around. I would also like to mention, he never complains about this. My stats are ludicrous and the fight against the reverse Hermit begins. It's probably one of my favorite designs, right behind the reverse Magician and Strength. The fight itself is, hold on. Yeah, I did good in this fight. I would like to say, for a while, I thought that I was behind when I fought this boss. I no longer thought this when I decimated the next block of Tartarus. I just thought that my damage was pretty low, but when I looked at other fights, I found out that it was actually pretty good for where I was at. But he was just probably the tankiest one I've fought in this game so far. Hey, yeah, he's just the tankiest boss, aside from the final one. The reverse Strength has only 4,000 HP, and the reversed Hangman has 5,500, while this one has 8,000. So, yeah, he's the tankiest. Thanks to doing Fuka's hangout events, weakness damage is heavily reduced, so its light electric attacks don't even kill Yukari. There were no close calls in this fight. We wailed on it while it was charging, even disrupting its charge with our Theurgies and heavy damage, killing it before it could even unleash its faster blue charged attack.
Go with. Come.
We finally start the Priestess social link with Fuka, and also get some more Strega screen time. Now for Tartarus. This is where I find my Pixie is broken. I won't speed up or edit this fight. Just look at what I do to these poor shadows. I was wrong.
And yeah, I would. Back. Sometimes it's more enjoyable to. Oh my god. Yeah, just absolutely fucking broken.
The next fight is a bit more difficult because of its resistance to physical, but the fight goes by very fast. The table boss goes down without any issues, it hardly hurts me, and if I got my crits, then this fight would have been over very quickly. The second to final fight before the next full moon goes a bit slow. I have to rely on magic here, using 3 different party members to effectively hit each weakness of the Guardian Shadows, but once the hands are gone, the main boss goes down without any further problems. The Isolated Castle. It dies fast. 2 crits, 2 all-out attacks. And then it's on to the Monad Passage, where I get the kinda useful tower card and more Arcana slots. We convince Ken to show us Magma's favorite midnight munchie.
Hamburger.
Zakaya talks to us, jealous of our powered up Pixie, but for some reason he doesn't feel the urge to put lead between our eyes. The typhoon gets the best of us, and we go into the Velvet Room for the first time since we started the game. During this week of inactivity, a peak game takes place, but I'm too scared of Nintendo to emulate anything, so you'll just have to take my word for it. This full moon boss worried me a bit because it's resistant to all physical damage. Despite the reverse strength scaring me, my almost immediate critical hit set my nerves to rest. As I mentioned, the reverse strength is resistant to all forms of physical damage and is neutral to all magic. You can't deal with the reverse fortune until the strength is dead, so we're dealing with them first. Unsurprisingly, strength uses physical attacks, so when I mindlessly used Koromaru's Revolution, I was worried, but then it used Rebellion. I thought that was a good thing because it wasted a turn for no benefit. Only as of writing this did I find out they stacked. Not like it mattered, because it hardly crit as often as I did. Speaking of, unlike Hermit, this boss can be knocked down, and you can do all-out attacks. This reduced the time of this fight by a lot. And once the strength was dead, Fortune didn't stand a chance, dying before it could do anything.
I have a really bad feeling about this roulette board. Focus.
Hey wait, where's Shinji? Wow. I didn't know he could use the gun. In all seriousness, this game is one of my favorites, and I can't do the story justice in a single video. If you're interested, watch my playthrough, any playthrough, or play the game yourself. It is very, very worth it. Alright. So we're starting with the Sun social link. In my opinion, this is pretty peak. I like that guy. Alright, now we're on
He's French. No, he's French. Put him down. Put him down. He's French. He's a frog. Put him
okay.
down.
How far down? You know what?
Put him down.
You know what? Let's put
Put him down. Put him down.
No.
Put him
No.
down.
No. He
Put-
stays at
put him
weirdo.
down.
He stays at weird.
Put him down.
He
Put him
stays.
down.
He
Put him
stays.
down. No.
He stays at weirdo.
No.
He stays
He's
at
worse
weirdo.
than Gingers. Put him down.
He stays at weirdo.
Put him down.
No.
Like Old Yeller.
No.
Put a bullet between his eyes and put
I will
him
put
down.
Mitsuru in Good to Make Fun of if
No,
you don't stop.
No, you put his ass down. You put him down.
This one's pretty mid. I won't lie.
Yeah, she's
This one's
nah,
pretty
she's
mid.
as fuck. She's mid as
Steez, it's literally just the story, you know? So there's all that.
fuck.
Buka.
Peek.
Peek. Now this guy, the Empress social link, he's a fucking nutcase. He's like a school quote-unquote dictator. I mean, like, just look at him, dude. Like,
Yeah, no, he was. I think he was good to make fun of, though. I think
he was good to make fun of. Kaz though, he had a really good story. I'd say
He was alright. He was alright. Yeah.
the fucking doctor. Okay, so his social link was pretty boring until it got to
His-
like 8 or 9, and
His
people
shit
just
was entirely forced. His thing
Yeah,
was entirely forced.
and then people started having fucking heart attacks all around him.
Everyone had a heart attack as he came in. He was good to make fun of.
Yeah.
It made. Put it down. No. Just put it all the way down.
That's
No,
a good
put it
point. Actually, no, I remember
Why
rank
are we
10. I remember
friends
rank 10.
with a fucking elementary schooler, and we could basically gaslight her into making her think her parents hate her.
Do you remember rank 10? What she said?
Yeah. Yes. The
Yeah.
fact that they thought it was okay to make 2 children able to be like, you know, in the game.
No,
in the
no, this
original,
guy.
That is fucking crazy.
So this guy, he's good to make fun of, yes, But like,
Yeah, but he's okay.
why
Listen,
the fuck are we friends with this guy?
Yeah.
You know, this guy, he's pretty mid.
Yeah,
I didn't really care about his story too much. He's
he
just
tries
poor.
his best, but the thing is that it's like the most boring, generic, like
Yeah.
underdog kind of story. Like we're like, oh god, I'm injured, you know, the whole thing, and yeah, put her up. No, higher, motherfucker. You gonna put him behind the Holocaust-looking guy?
Bro, he's good.
No, he's not that good. He is not that good. He
He's-
does not beat Mitsuru. You're such a fucking you're full of shit. You're full of shit.
Alright.
That's the one redhead I like. That's the one redhead I like. You
But
can't
she's
even
like
fucking-
actually redhead. She's not even ginger.
exactly. But she's good. She's good redhead.
Yeah.
The fuck? You better put that motherfucker at no. Yeah. I would agree. Dude, he goes back to see his wife and kids. He's a fucking
He does
good
go back
person.
to see his.
He's a good man.
Do you remember this
he's a
guy's
good man.
social link? Do you remember his?
Oh god. Why are we friends with this guy? He's the lowest. I'd say he's lower than the kid.
Yeah. Like literally, he scams us for like half of the social link, and then he's like a crying slob for the rest. And like, I don't care about your dead brother, dude. Like, no one gives a fuck. Veros,
Put him in weirdo. Put him in weirdo.
he is a weirdo,
He
but
was
I
weird.
think he's top
He was
of
weird.
weirdo.
I
Yeah,
don't really like
But
him.
I like the story
No,
implications.
You put her mid. You put her mid. Or maybe even all right, but I'd say like high mid.
I don't remember her like what her social link was about.
Her dad dying.
No. That was just her. Like she has probably one of my favorite plot
Yeah,
story
plot, like,
arcs in
main-
the game.
main story,
But like
yeah.
her social link was so forgettable. Tanaka, I'll be real with you. Tanaka is peak of all right. He's like he's a scammer and he's so fucking funny with it. Why are we friends with our teacher?
No, but okay, but hear me out. It was fun. It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. It was funny to read like the type
the
text.
drunken dialogue.
Yeah.
The drunken type text. Come on.
That
That was fun.
I'll say bottom of all right.
I-
Yuko.
yeah.
So I do like Yuko's social link. The fact that like she finds out and discovers her passion for something is very it's endearing. But
Yeah.
I'll just say like it's all right. I guess his social link.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would agree just because her whole social link is literally it literally makes the ending depressing.
Yeah. And then the
It's
start
what-
of the
it's
next
what makes-
episode.
I was
guess.
gonna say it's what makes me actually enjoy the like story of the game.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I feel bad for Gramps, but the thing is like his kid's name is David, and I hit him with a car, so I don't care. put him in
Dude.
weirdo. No, put Bebe last.
No,
Don't
Bebe's.
make this man last. Bebe is last. I will leave.
All right. And that judgment, that one was just like
I don't even remember that one.
yeah, it's an automatic social link you get by climbing Tartarus during the the final segment. So it was just like
Yeah,
the mid of mid, you know.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through this. This is about right. Yeah, this is about right. I'd say.
All right. Yeah. Whoa. Why'd you put her back behind the Holocaust, dude? Stop.
He's
Put
a
her back
ghost,
in
dude. That's crazy
He's-
lore.
Listen. Oh god. Okay. So when's the next tier list? Where is the lovers tier list, and why is Ken peak?
Akihiko and Ken awaken to their new personas, and now that I can buy Topaz, I max out my Pixie. As for Tartarus, our strategy hasn't changed. Get crits and all out attack. The first boss gets crit, and I found out the two books are weak to dark. A few turns later, they're dead. The Lion Wheel doesn't do much better, and it's over the second I get a crit and knock it down. The next boss is two cavalry that are weak to wind. I knock them down, and one of them gets dizzy, so it can't do anything to fight back. None of these bosses pose a threat or last longer than a minute, so I'll go straight to the last one. As is tradition, the last boss has no weakness, but that doesn't matter because we crit it and it dies. Tartarus is, well, it's nothing too interesting, just fighting different bosses with the same strategy, so at this point, unless something interesting happens, I may just not show it. Once the block is done, we go back to school, Fuko awakens to Juno, we max out the tower, romance best girl, and then finish off the Hermit and Priestess social links. Now it is time. The final full moon boss. We stick with our team, and the only new skill we acquire is Resist Ice. Alright, who are we fighting? Oh man, Strega? Oh man, they're so fucked! This fight against Jin and Takai is pretty easy. The only thing that really gets in my way is Jin's frag grenade, which is fire damage. How can Mitsuru tank a grenade that she is weak to, but my goat Shinji can't even tank a gun? He's not even weak to pierce. Did the Revolver Messiah get a crit because the man has a chronic terminal disease? Like, what happened? We may never know. What we do know is that this fight is baby shit easy. It is so easy, in fact, that we are actively stopped by the plot from doing damage.
They jumped.
Now for the actual boss. The statues holding up the hangman don't pose a problem. I just crit or hit a weakness, and after an all-out attack and some added force, the shadow drops. Hangman itself is resistant to strike, it nulls fire, repels darkness. However, it can be knocked down, so the all-out attack spam is gonna go crazy here. For attacks, it's got heavy strike damage, dark insta-death, and heavy almighty attacks. It also has a lot of buff and debuff skills. Its signature skill gives the boss 3 turns to do whatever it wants with, usually buffing itself or debuffing me. My crits are insane, and even Koromaru gets in on the action. Without too much trouble, the boss goes down.
Yes! This is your...
I'll go with. Come!
We say goodbye to Propaganda Boy and meet the big man once again. Now we can finally sit back and relax. The game's over. We beat Persona 3 Reload using only the Pixie. Hey, what's up with that funky red bar? Huh. Man. Who would have thought? Wow, that is 3 for 3 with the guns. Well shit, back to school. Ugh, who the fuck is that? Oh my god. Well, as long as he doesn't talk to us.
I gotta say, though, you are stronger than you look, huh? Do you work out or something?
Bosses here are easy, so I'll show off the fights while I talk. First, I'd like to say I finally get the only other theurgy I can use with no Velvet Room, Scarlet Havoc, a severe slashing attack with high crit rate. So we'll be using this from now on. Now I'd like to talk about my team composition. Yukari is the best healer hands down because her traits make the cost of healing so much less expensive. Then Mitsuru and Koromaru may seem like odd picks, but now that I'm here, my plan can come into form. I've got Mitsuru for her magic damage with Ice Boost, an accessory with Ice Amp, an Ailment Boost, and Freeze Boost. My plan with her is to inflict freeze on enemies so I can get a guaranteed crit with the main character. Koromaru is simple. He has Revolution, learns Debilitate, and his Theurgy lets him do the same effect as Charge. And with that explanation, I conclude the block of Tartarus. Unfortunately, we've got to go back to school, and the Playboy is inevitable. The Kyoto trip starts, and we get some odd words from Yukari. Mitsuru awakens a new persona, and we're dragged to the lake by Ryoji. Thankfully, we're saved by a planned late-night hot spring visit. We're out at such an hour that no one who isn't used to staying up till midnight would ever show up.
Oh, shit!
Uh-oh. Luckily, avoiding women is my specialty, so I can get us out of this. Now that we're safe and back in Port Island, we start the Empress social link with Mitsuru. Oh, hey Chidori. Damn. Sorry, Junpei. This fight is entirely scripted. No theurgy, no crits, just hitting and healing. I don't even think you can call it a fight. It's just a cutscene of this girl's mental breakdown.
It hurts. I can't breathe. I'm scared. Junpei.
Man, guns are great in this game. I should get one. Unfortunately, Junpei is now shot. But Chidori understands that Junpei is the best boy and uses her life to bring back his. Then Junpei gets a temporary win before being forced into some character development. Time goes by, and a good majority of the team is now traumatized or sad. Then we go and pour gasoline on the dwindling embers of sorrow. Playboy is actually the shadow of the Death Arcana, who was sealed inside me when I was 10. Now he tells us the world is gonna end, and there's jack shit we can do about it. We have a small team meeting halfway through the most boring month of this game, but hey, we get to spend Christmas Eve with Fuka. So it's not all bad. And before New Year's, we max out the Empress and Aigis comes back and awakens Athena. The night of the full moon, Ryoji comes in and tells us to kill him. Now, if this decision wasn't vital to get the real ending of this game, he would be dead before Magma could finish telling me all the reasons to kill him. And with our decision, we max out the Fool and start the Judgment. With nothing else to do, we head straight for Tartarus to get our final skill cards and complete our powerful Pixie. Each Guardian will get you some dialogue with the team and a rank up in the Judgment social link. The first one goes down easy, I get some good crits, and it dies. The only thing I can really say about it is, it uses Diarahin, which is pretty annoying. On the next one, I just use Scarlet Havoc, and it dies. Not much else to say. The balances are a bit annoying, but that's just because I can't seem to crit for the life of me. The multi-targeting heavy magic going after my party's weaknesses is pretty annoying, but I never die, so it's fine. Also, Scarlet Havoc is,
Getting in our way. They're weak, but don't get careless. All enemies defeated. Good work out there.
The Judge, like all of its type, is tanky as hell, but I get a lot of crits, and also find out that 2 Brave Blades do more damage than an all-out attack. Then it goes down with a concentrated Theurgy for Mitsuru, and it's on to the next boss, which gets off to a pretty slow start. But after 2 crits and 2 Brave Blades, it dies. The next one deflects Slash, so I use my Theurgy and spam Megidolons. The last one is super tanky, and just like all of the bosses in this block, it has no weakness. Thankfully, I get plenty of crits and have to use up all my Theurgies, but it's the final boss of the block, so I don't mind. And that does it for Tartarus. Oh shit. I was not ready for this thing. It has all heavy magic and physical. It also has Concentrate, Charge, Heat Riser, and Debilitate, along with healing 300 HP a turn. So this fight sucked. It also doesn't help that I don't have crit amp or slash amp yet. So this fight just goes on for a long time. My damage is poor, and my crits were near non-existent, so I did the unforgivable. I used mirrors. It didn't help though. Anyway, while this fight plays out, I'm gonna tell you the pain I went through trying to get these last skill cards. Slash amp wasn't bad, you can get it from queen cards, but crit amp is a 6% chance from 1 locked chest in the final block. I thought I'd be fine, so I didn't start off soft resetting until like an hour or 2 into grinding. Once I got that, I just got an Arcana burst and grinded out the queen cards until I managed to get everything that I needed. I also managed to pick up a salvation card from a 2-lock chest, so I just gonna slap that on eventually.
That's a win for the team.
It's over.
Good job.
Oh yeah, the Reaper. I guess we could do that one. I've prepared enough. So, the Reaper, aside from being cool as fuck, has caused me problems when fighting him normally. However, I have since learned that Persona in particular has a hard-on for annoying status elements. All of these falling under the Mind category. The ailments in question being Distress, Fear, Charm, Rage, and Panic. All of these, and I mean all of these, give me an aneurysm. So, I have equipped every party member with equipment that makes them immune to mind ailments. This saves me quite a bit in the fights to come. Now, onto the Reaper. Like the Shadow of the Void, it has access to all heavy magic, almighty magic, physical skills, and the best buffs and debuffs, along with Tintarafu. My strat here is to heal Yukari, do crits with my Pixie, have Koromaru manage the Reaper's status, and Mitsuru doing as much magic damage as she can. However, even with my greatest efforts, I get cocky and the Reaper gets off a concentrated Megidolon, killing everyone but me. But I have my Theurgy, and it's almost dead, so I take a gamble, and it dies.
Our leader's in danger!
I'm gonna gamble real quick. It'll work.
All enemies defeated! Good work out there!
Wow, that was difficult.
Yeah.
Hardest match of the game.
It was.
Hardest match of the game.
I mean,
Hardest match. He definitely didn't just like
oh!
cut off his nut.
What? Oh yeah, Junpei has the potential to win again, by the way. So that's nice. I also max out the Aeon with Aegis and the Lovers with Yukari. Now, for the Day of Reckoning. The end of all things. Before we can fight Nyx, we actually have to deal with Strega. None of these fights are bad. I have plenty of revival items. But, once again, the plot works against me. I could have been done with these fights, but no. They gotta yap before they die. Fucking annoying pieces of shit. Jin targets your weaknesses, and nothing that bad really comes of it. Takai uses light and dark magic, along with instant death, but I have almost 99 homunculi, so it's fine. The man also uses a Theurgy that drains all my SP, but it's not like I was using it.
To do. Pixie!
Wow! Wow!
This can't be.
As for the next fight, I'm going to try and show off as much as I can, but it probably won't be the whole thing. I will show the entire final phase and explain the other 13. As for just general things about the next fight, he's immune to all status elements as well as going down, so no alt attacks, and I don't get any extra turns from getting a critical hit. Now the first phase, the Fool. It has so little HP, a cough could kill it. Next is the Magician. This one nulls fire and uses heavy fire magic. Next is the Priestess. She's immune to ice and has the signature skill of the Reverse Priestess. Thankfully, I've grown since the first boss, and I am no longer weak to ice. The Empress is resistant to all magic and uses heavy wind spells. The Emperor adds some cool energy to his sword, and he gets the skill Sweep, a severe slash attack to all foes. And like the Emperor boss, this one is resistant to all physical damage. Then it switches to Hierophant, spreading black feathers that increase status ailment susceptibility, but we're immune to all mind ailments, so it doesn't matter. Lovers goes down because it can't use Charm, Chariot's a slog because it's immune to all physical, and the Justice is immune to all magic, but all of my damage comes from Pixie, and yet again, this one goes down. The Hermit could have killed Yukari, but instead it only hits Koromaru for some reason. Fortune has severe magic for fire, ice, wind, and electricity, along with absorbing most of those elements, and the Strength just resists all physical, having the same skills as the actual boss did. The Hangman is probably the most threatening phase. It has the same skill, allowing it to have 3 consecutive turns. It also has Charge, Concentrate, Severe Almighty Damage, God's Hand, and after that is Death. No resistances, no weaknesses. It has every Shadow Boss's exclusive skill up to this point. It also has the best buffs and debuffs along with Dekaja and Dekunda. It also has 2 new skills, Apocalypse and Night Queen. Apocalypse reduces all of your HP by 99%, and Night Queen does almighty damage with a very high chance of inflicting ailments, which we can't get.
The moment man devoured the fruit.
So we would only be
trust
furthering
in
Nyx's goal.
Yet the Arcana is the beyond the journey.
Oh, maybe.
It matters
Just
not
maybe.
who you are.
We live. What?
I sense.
I didn't want you to suffer. Is this really what you desire? Very well.
I have to do this. That helps.
Thanks.
What's the plan here?
Armageddon!
Persona!
Hey Nick, you ever heard of something called Hiroshima?
You cannot avoid. The time has come.
Oh, I'm about to drop the third time on this motherfucker.
Go with.
Pixie!
You gotta drop the third sun on him. Come on.
Thank you.
Do what your American pride tells you to do.
Gonna use an item.
Yeah.
Let's go! Take that! One last touch!
Yeah. That.
Behold,
Listen, we got a bandit-shaped dog to get him down this low. Huh?
the Arcana has revealed.
What? What do you mean?
What to do?
Oh. Oh yeah. Armageddon. Armageddon.
Now's the
Oh.
time. Persona!
Oh, doesn't matter.
That helps.
Appreciate it.
I'll hit them where it hurts.
You literally just have fucking organs in a casing that looks like a dog. Like Koromaru is literally just a bandit-shaped dog. Sorry, reverse. I fucked that up. I meant a dog-shaped bandit.
Despite our win, this victory does nothing. But through the power of friendship, we get the power of the universe, at the cost of our lives. We enter a scripted fight against Nyx herself, and use the Great Seal. Tartarus begins to disappear, and we come back. Our time limited. We last until the day of graduation, peacefully dying as Aigis dedicates her existence to keeping us alive and safe.
Thank you so much for everything. You must be tired. Go ahead and rest now. I'll be right here. I won't be going anywhere. In a moment, the others will be joining us.
So, can you beat Persona 3 Reload with only Pixie? Yes. Yes, you can. It was actually a pretty fun way to play the game. If you'd like me to do episode Aegis, let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.